Step into the harsh reality of 2024, where the so-called land of opportunity is grappling with its worst crisis yet. Basic necessities have become unattainable for the common man, healthcare costs are soaring, and education feels like a distant dream. The luxury of going out even twice a month is now a distant reality for many Americans. Is the U.S. in a slight depression? Economists weigh in on the viral TikTok theory. As if that weren't enough, rising gas prices add another layer of difficulty to transportation. Join us on a journey to uncover 10 things that Americans find themselves unable to afford in this challenging year. Number 10. Housing. In 2024, it's really tough for regular Americans to buy a house. The American dream of owning a home is getting harder because of a bunch of problems. The middle class, who used to be a strong part of the country, now struggles to afford a home. They work 2 jobs, but it's still not enough. The money they make stays the same, and everything else keeps getting more expensive. The median price for an existing home was $387,600 in November of 2023, and that was a 40% surge from just 2 years before. Sadly, houses which used to be cozy places now feel like expensive traps, making fun of people who can't afford them. Getting a mortgage, which used to be a way to get ahead, now feels like being tied to a bank forever. People are worried about losing their homes, and it feels like dreams are being shattered. The rich people are getting even richer, while regular people are struggling. In this tough situation, the middle class can only remember when owning a home meant hard work, not feeling trapped. Number 9. Groceries. Another big problem for Americans is affording groceries. Having good quality food on the table feels like a far-off wish. A survey by Swiftly, a retail tech company, talked to about 1,500 people for their annual true cost of a grocery shop report. It found that almost 2 out of 3 people struggled to pay for groceries because things are getting more expensive due to inflation. Americans are being careful about what they buy. The struggle is real, affording groceries in America. Grocery Doppio's report, which looked at over 2 million shoppers at the end of the year, shows that online grocery shopping went down in 2023 and is expected to keep going down in 2024. The prices of things like eggs, chicken, and bread have gone way up, and it seems as though Americans are upset about it. But no one is really paying attention to their concerns. Fruits and vegetables, once considered a cornerstone of a healthy diet, are now becoming a luxury. As if the burden of unaffordable groceries isn't enough, the grim reality extends its reach into yet another facet of American life. Number 8. Healthcare. Affording healthcare has become a big problem for many adults in the United States. It's not only those with lower incomes or without insurance. Even those with higher incomes and health coverage find themselves struggling with the high costs of medical care. The dark clouds of financial strain hang over the common man, caught in an unending struggle. Half of adults say it's difficult to afford healthcare costs, including large shares of the uninsured, Black and Hispanic adults, and those with lower incomes. About half of U.S. adults say it's hard to pay for healthcare costs, and 1 in 4 admits to having problems paying for healthcare in the past 12 months. This sad reality has now extended to the point where the high cost of prescription drugs stops some people from getting the medications they need. The question arises, is this still the land of opportunities, or has it become a state where basic necessities are seriously lacking? And the crisis doesn't end there. 2024 has announced an alarm bell for those who dream of affordable education for their children. Number 7. Education. The American dream used to come wrapped up in a crisp diploma, its scent mingling with the hopeful ink of possibility. And now, in 2024, education hangs like a rusted crown, mockingly heavy on the heads of the middle class. Knowledge, once a beacon, flickers dimly behind a paywall of astronomical tuition fees, their numbers echoing like a death knell for aspirations. Universities, once sanctuaries of learning, now morph into gilded fortresses, their gates guarded by loan sharks in tweed jackets. Last year, a survey from Morning Consult found that 77% of people say that college is difficult to afford, while 52% say that even in-state public universities, which are typically intended to be more affordable options, are not affordable, and this is likely to continue in 2024. But it's not only basic necessities that are hard to access. The quality of life for Americans would face significant challenges in the following areas this year as well. Number 6. Transportation. In 2024, America's wheels might be coming to a grinding halt, choked by the weeds of rising costs and crumbling infrastructure. The once vaunted freedom of the open road now comes at a crippling price, leaving the middle class stranded on the side of the road, dreams sputtering out like empty fuel tanks. Americans can no longer afford their cars. With gas prices already going through the roof last year, they're expected to shoot up by another 20% in 2024. This surge is fueled by issues like geopolitical tensions and global supply chain problems. As if that's not enough, public transportation fares are also going up. Cash-strapped cities are finding it tough to keep up with the rising demand and maintain old transportation systems. This means more strain on the wallet for people who rely on buses and trains. Number 5. Retirement savings. Moving ahead, in this tight financial grip, saving for retirement seems like a far-off dream, glimmering on the horizon but always just out of reach. The 401k, once seen as a promise of a stable future, now feels like a leaky bucket, with taxes and market ups and downs swallowing up contributions. Social Security, the safety net built by past generations, is now struggling under the pressures of changing demographics and talks of running out of money. And as for pensions, those old-fashioned guarantees of retirement, they're slowly disappearing, leaving many of us grasping at the uncertainty of what lies ahead. Number 4. Vacations and leisure. The prospect of enjoying vacations and leisure activities becomes even more challenging for many Americans. Limited budgets and financial worries cast a dark cloud over the pursuit of much-needed respites. Simple pleasures like dining out or attending events transform into distant luxuries amidst economic constraints. This difficulty is highlighted by the fact that 2/3 of Americans had to skip recreational activities in the past year, such as overnight trips, sporting events, concerts, or dining out, simply because they couldn't afford them. This not only takes away the joy of breaks and fun activities, but also shows the wider issue of it being harder for many Americans to have a balanced and fulfilling lifestyle due to economic challenges. Number 3. Childcare. Affordable childcare is virtually non-existent in many areas, forcing parents to choose between their careers and caring for their children. This disproportionately impacts mothers and families with young children. Adding to these difficulties, childcare issues compound the strain. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, about 100,000 Americans stay home from work monthly due to childcare problems. U.S. childcare crisis is holding back the workforce. The economic toll now reaches $122 billion annually in lost earnings, productivity, and revenue. A recent report from the Government Accountability Office highlights childcare as a significant obstacle for workers seeking job training, creating additional hurdles. Number 2. Debt management. Rising interest rates and stagnant wages make it difficult to manage existing debt, leading to a cycle of financial instability and burden. In 2024, many Americans are being more careful with their money. They've already cut back on spending, and they plan to do it even more. But they're still focused on two important things: paying off debt and finding ways to have fun. A recent survey from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York shows that the amount people increase their spending each month slowed down. In December of 2023, it went up by 5.01%, which is less than the 5.5% in August of 2023 and much less than the 7.1% in December of 2022. Number 1. Emergency savings. Lastly, building on an emergency fund to cover unexpected expenses is extremely difficult with tight budgets and rising costs. This leaves many vulnerable to even minor setbacks that could have long-term consequences. 57% of Americans can't afford a $1,000 emergency expense, says a new report. A look at why Americans are saving less and how you can boost your emergency fund. Picture this. An unforeseen car repair bill or a sudden medical expense can swiftly disrupt plans, rendering individuals vulnerable to setbacks that may echo for a long time. The struggle to set aside money for unforeseen circumstances is a shared experience, resonating not only in major metropolitan areas like New York and Los Angeles, but also in smaller communities across the nation. And so, 2024 not only presents hurdles in attaining leisure and vacations, but also amplifies the issues of managing debts and establishing emergency funds. To wrap it up, the challenges facing Americans in 2024 are as real as they come. From basic necessities to healthcare and even the simple joy of going out, the struggles are felt by many. Rising gas prices and transportation woes only add to the burden. It's a tough time for the common man, navigating through a complex web of financial hurdles. Subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more eye-opening discussions on the everyday realities.